Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connected dot, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description. And how you can also help me is Alley Cat Creations to 11, where you can find pyramids, different types of pyramids. This is gem loaded. Skulls, heavy, very heavy skulls, hearts, paintings, wool, decor, all kinds of fun stuff. You can check out my website, and I thank you guys for the support because holy crap, I am going to do a spiritual soul advice. I tried doing one last night, but I wasn't in the right state of mind. I am very close to having a nervous breakdown. That's usually when the most profound changes happen in my life because I have to put my foot down and I have to start making changes in my life. Once again, I thought I did that already, and now it's like the universe is like, fuck you, bitch. But the CUNT, see you next Tuesday came out with it within a few days. Not proud of that. I have been trying to transmute the see you next Tuesday BITCH that I can be. I know what I can be. I'm brutal and I don't want to be that way. But that's the shadow aspect of myself that sometimes have to come out, but then I have to remind myself, be kind. Um I'm disappointed with humans. Very disappointed with certain people that have the need to try to start drama where it doesn't need to be. Um I've been thrown into situations that I didn't need to belong into, but because I'm a nice and kind person, I kind of stopped my life to do for others, which I have no problem doing. That's Amish mindset. But I don't like feeling guilted into it either. A dog was lost, and I did a lot behind the scenes. I don't need to be thanked. I don't need anything because thankfully the dog is reunited with his mama. And I love the mama. She's an amazing soul sister. But how everything transpired was disastrous, stressful, and also helping out my friend. A lot of people are trolling and saying some derogatory things behind my back. I'm disappointed. Listen, you can have any opinion you would like to have of me. I am not going to be everybody's cup of tea or coffee. I'm not. But that there's a line that has been drawn that people just need to stop. Sorry, just stop. Because I'm not the only one under a spiritual attack, because I know this is spiritual attack from every angle that could possibly come up in my life. I don't need to lose my friends because of your mouth or your trolling and trying to start problems where there is no problem. Thankfully, the issue that's at hand is resolved. Um, my week has been fucking hell. Like outside of what just happened that put me over the top, which, you know, I tried doing 4 videos yesterday, none of them came out. I couldn't post them. Couldn't do it. And why I choose to even talk about this is because I want to bring you guys on a journey of like my journey. But through my journey, learning like what I'm using to dispel and to transmute energy that does come up. It's not gonna not come up just because I'm all love and light and I'm aware in the consciousness realm where my frequency is. Right? We're all faced with tests and challenges that is not easy to navigate. You know, I'm at a job where I'm doing the work of 2.5 people. So not just me, I'm doing the work of another person and then half of my teacher. My teacher is trying. She's trying to do the right thing. Love her. She's a sweetheart. And so is the other person I work with, the other para. She's a sweetheart. I love them. They make my day go bad. They make my day go by. But I'm doing a lot that I'm not getting paid for. And everybody would say, well, sure, like just don't do it. Well, say that with a kid with kids in a room that bite you, hit you. Someone like literally pinched my eyeball. It was stupid painful. I get smacked, hit. I have had two bloody lips, bite marks, nerve damage. I'm getting hurt at work because other people are not picking up the slack and they don't know what they're doing on the other hand too. So that's really the crux of like the start of where my nerves are being shot because I'm looking for another job and I have to physically go and do another job because remote work is not looking and panning out. I put my application into a ton of places that require a lot that I don't have and cannot financially afford. Um, the internet bill alone has to go up. I have the cheapest internet I could possibly find out here, and I'm happy with it. It doesn't bother me, but they need everything hardwired, and for them to do the hardwiring, it's money I don't have. I can't expend it, and it's not being paid for or covered. So there's a lot of that problem. I've already had this issue in New York, even when I had hardwiring. People sent me equipment that never worked, and I'm not wanting to be on the phone. That's just not my strong suit, and I know that. I know that. So yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay, I'm back. Um, so in the means of all of that, with trying to find a second job, um, I want to do vending events, and I signed up for one over the summer for the fall. No, for the winter. Sorry, winter. And the woman reaches out to me and is like, "Oh, we have a few spots left." I'm like, "I already paid you for a spot. What's going on?" And I'm looking through my payment stuff and I can't find it, but I know I paid. So that was another thing. And then I tried going for a consignment with a metaphysical store and then two towns over, and no one, like they had a Zoom call and that didn't work out because so like I'm just putting myself out there and looking for avenues of like what will work with a job that already expends a lot of my energy out of me. And I'm coming home like disheveled, sweaty, smelly, bite marks, scratch marks, and done. I'm done at the end of the day. Can I handle another job? I have no choice. I can't pay my bills. And it's not, if I take out a loan, this job is not going to be able to pay it off. I need like two jobs. Um, and I also have to think about the winter. I can't go that far. My car sucks in the snow and it's old and it barely works in the winter. At least if my car breaks down in the morning, I could walk to work. It's a little bit of a far walk, but I could still get to work. It's not that difficult to get to my school. It's down the block and around the corner. It's a long corner, but I still can get there. Um, so that's not out of the reach of me getting there. It's any other job. Uh, don't know what to do. So I'm in this I don't know what to do stage of this spiritual, like trying to manifest something that's going to work. But in the meantime, like I'm being rejected and getting beat up every day, and I'm not having the slack being picked up at work, and I'm not making enough money doing what I'm doing. It is cray, crazy energy from that stuff. Then put everything else on top of it. Like I'm at my wit's end. And that's really just being honest. I'm at my wit's end. My nervous system is shot. Nervous system is completely shot. And I don't want to live that way. I already did this in New York. I already had this anxiety in New York. I already been through this. So why am I being tested again? I'm on the brink of change. I just don't know what that change is. At least in New York, I knew I had to move. Here, I have a job. It's just I have to figure it out. You know, I always thought that eventually this channel would be a supplement and that this little business I have, this little side hustle, would be supplement, meaning not consistent, but bringing something in that I can save and accumulate. And it's just not being so. Um, maybe in time. I don't know. Divine timing is weird with me. You know, play with these fidgets in the meantime. But a lot of stress has been on my shoulders. And a lot of stress has been placed on my shoulders by others because everybody thinks I'm just going to drop what I'm doing to help others when I haven't figured out how to help myself. And that time expenditure, no one's paying for my gas to ride up and down the roads of Indiana for hours, walking amongst cornfields. I love doing it because it grounds me, but for hours in my neighborhood, because I didn't know where the dog was, I'm on one side of the highway and the dog was on way on the other side, but you never know where that dog is going to go. So I looked on my side. I, I like to do selfless things, but at the same time, my boundaries had to be placed up. And that on top of that, there have been people trying to start shit that doesn't even need to be started because I don't know where they're getting their fucking thinking from. And the person that I had an issue that had me, a very good friend of mine, we had to have a nice conversation. I'm really at, they apologized and I love that person to death. They're my family. But people really need to watch what they're saying. And even if you're being like sassy or you're jealous or whatever the fucking catty bullshit in high school needs to stop. Right? How is it okay? We're at the crux of a dawn of a new time, and you are trying to disperse unity and cause more friction where there doesn't need to be any. And that's also looking at yourself to see where your upsetness, your being a troll, what does that have to do with knowing facts? It doesn't. So and these are older people. These are people that are not in their fucking teens. These are people in their freaking 50s, 60s, 70s that are spewing trolling crap. And it gotta stop. It really, really has to stop. Thankfully, I know it's a spiritual attack. I know that some of these people think they're awake and they're not. They're not spiritually awake. And I had my best friend tell me over the weekend they're not ready to drop the polarity. Because when, I'm that person that brings another side of another component of truth to a political standpoint. And they admitted that what I'm saying has a lot of weight and premise, but they're just not ready to accept that unity polarity game yet. They're not ready to end it. And I respect it because I know they're not there in that spot either. I know they're not. But at least the conversation was had and they understand where I'm coming from. And they know it's not out of a place of hate because I love my friends and I love everybody. Everybody. I really do because you all of you are my other selves. But my other selves have a lot of learning to do and a lot of curtailing of drama and shit before you shift. You know, the 3D is not an easy paradisal world that we all constructed ourselves to be thrown into. I know I signed up for very difficult lessons and I'm not on 3D lessons, I'm on 4. But people are crossing lines that I'm being tested on where my boundaries are and what I prefer and what I don't prefer. You know what I don't prefer? Being taken advantage of at work because of nepotism and mafiosa type runnings of school. The shit pay. You know, if you paid me a little bit more, I might care a little bit more, but I love what I do and it's not about the money. But at the end of the day, when you can't pay your bills and you're having to sneak eating school food because that's all you have, it's a little scary. And I had lasagna today and it was really damn good, but it was from a school. The times are very scary. And once again, I'm not here to put myself on a podium because this is not what it is about. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And we all get to these points of being extremely overwhelmed that everything is collapsing around you and you just don't know. You call up to your higher self, you're calling to your angels, you're calling to your guides, and you're not hearing anything. And usually for me, when that happens, and I'm like, hi, upstairs, I can't handle this anymore. My physical vehicle is overwhelmed. Shockingly enough, I had my blood pressure taken for the first time in 2 years today. Normal. I thought I was going to be in trouble. No, it was freaking normal. How? I don't know. They had to take my blood. I wasn't happy about it, but I need dental and vision, and doing the health and the government thing doesn't really get me anywhere either. So here I am. I had to take a blood test today at work, and my pressure was normal. I was shocked. Are you kidding me? Whoa. After the week I freaking just had? What? Barely any sleep. Barely any sleep. I had to stop the modality of the substitute of what I do when I'm in pain, nicotine. I had to stop doing that because apparently I'm not on life insurance, but you can't have it in your system, or else they're gonna up your rate by $1,000. What the fuck? I I'm sorry. I what do you do about the obese person? I'm sorry, my parents were obese. I am from my mother, at least that's what killed her. But you know, this is that Odin? Yes, it is. It's Odin head. Here he is. Hi, baby. This little guy has been helping calm me down. What are you doing, Odin? You're in my camera. You're in my camera, big boy. He's so big. Hi, everybody. Say hi. I'm a big boy. Look how big he is. He's 3 years old. I have to figure out when his birthday is. I know, I think Frey is in January. He's in summer. I don't know. Um, but I'm very thankful to have my baby. He's been calming me down, and I mean, I know I was spiritually attacked in a bad way. I usually put a lot of shielding on every day I wake up. That's my intention. I shield myself. I visualize the plasma. I bring myself down to the earth and up into the cosmos. And I'm putting like plasma around my golden egg. That's rainbow. I have multiple layers, like I have a Merkaba that I visualize that I'm spinning in, and then comes my light body, and then comes the ray of golden light, and within the ray of golden light that's coming from out of me, I'm bubbled in a rainbow. It looks like oil that you put in when you put dish soap, and you see the colors. That's what it looks like, but very vibrant colors that are enveloping me. And then I put myself in like a plasma cage. And then I have my disco ball rainbow. My disco ball is like reflecting all out. But if I'm meant to feel something, being an empath, I know a lot of people that are empaths, you're absorbing regardless of how much you put up. I know that some people will dispute that with me, but if you're meant to feel energy, you're meant to absorb it for a reason, a catalytic reason, you're going to. And for whatever the reasons were, I needed to feel the brink of disaster and despair. But that's also the negative energy playing with my aura field. Um, So today I feel better because I had a conversation that was healthy with one of my besties about what just transpired. And we both agree that we're being under attack and that people need to fucking shut the fuck up and stop being trolls and stop instigating shit that's not even there. Um, that's just about that, you know. And I can't necessarily blame this person for being upset. They had a very rough weekend as well. And we all come to a breaking point. It's just a matter of figuring out, for me, maybe I can find a better job full time that makes more money. Um, did I find it yet? No. Can't find a part-time job that works with my schedule. That's where I'm at. I'm at the impasse level. I need something from like 5 to 10. And that's even pushing it because I like to go to sleep around 9 during the week. Weekends I could do early morning. Sunday like afternoon. But that's not really even giving me any time for myself to do like laundry and yard work and normal shit, right? I have to remind myself it's just me. And it's difficult when it's just you and you got a lot of other things. You don't have help with laundry or cleaning the house. Like I have to do all of that and then plus my life, right? It sucks. And yes, be kind. That's what's been driving me to not completely flip out. And I did it on my TikTok the other day. I didn't really post it too many places because I'm fucking over it. I'm trying to deprogram myself from the New York attitude, the cunt bitch persona that I can wear in a heartbeat. I'm not one to be messed with. I'm not a pleasant person when I'm in that mode at all. And if it wasn't for Viking, like just asking me if I'm okay, and I just unleashed He's like, you need to come over and we need to talk. You just need to vent. Maybe you just need a drink, like just to chill out and relax. Here, let's watch something. Let's like take your mind off of things. I'm not together with him, but we're talking. He's still being a good friend, and that means the world to me. Sometimes when you're just, I can't sit in meditation when I have my mind screaming at me and I'm absorbing all kinds of energy and negativity. Just, meditation is not easy when you're in those states. Um, so yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy 2 weeks that has set me back. I mean, nothing's really ever set back, but for me in my mind, I like to keep to a schedule. I like to keep things in motion for this channel. And it's like getting fuckified. Give me a second. Life is but a dream. And a dream that is playing out in another paradigm near us. The multiverse is fun. Very fun. Human all too human. Once again, I just opened the book up to wherever and it's like spirit talks to me through books. Tactics 369. Tactics in conversation. After a conversation with someone, one is best disposed towards his partner in conversation if he had the opportunity to display to him his own wit and admirability in its full splendor. Clever men who want to gain someone's favor use this during a conversation, giving the other person the best opportunities for a good joke and the like. One could imagine an assuming conversation between two very clever people, both of whom want to gain the other's favor and therefore toss the good conversational opportunities back and forth, neither one accepting them, so that the conversation as a whole would proceed without wit or amiability, because each one was offering the other the opportunity to demonstrate wit and amiability. It's true, for the most part. It's that, you know, that was presented the other night, and a lot of my conversations I have with people. But in the political sphere, because this is what a lot of people are escaping to how do I convey this? Because I was trying to convey it yesterday and it didn't really pop out of me properly. What is happening now in the collective? Not necessarily in my atmosphere, because I don't put my ease and I know what's causing my nervousness and my anxiety. I'm a higher ended being with a higher ended consciousness, just like many of you, that is in a world that is not functioning for us. And as much as we are trying to function with it, move amongst the shit, moving it out of our way, transmuting the energy, alchemizing what no longer wants to serve us, but yet we are stuck in the paradigm. Like we have gas and electric bills, we have water bills. There are things that you cannot escape right now because you still need them. They are basic necessities of life that you need to have in order to function, in order to do the good work that you're trying to put out. And the biggest escape and the denial is everybody's tense right now because of the political sphere is happening and the circus sideshow is happening, and it defaults Everybody puts the fault on that instead of taking accountability for you just need to learn how to alchemize your energy. And that does take time, but you can't excuse your behavior, your what what you're going through on politics. Your behavior, your trolling, your discomfort, your jealousy, your envy, your purging out into the world, you can't put that on other people. You have to place it on yourself. Like I said, I'm in neutrality in the political sphere. If someone really is in control, right, like they say that person is, then I'm living a very shitty fucking existence. I shouldn't have to wait 4 years for a change to occur as I'm putting the work in to make that change for myself. It's getting overwritten by negative energy. If enough people were to stand up to alchemize the light side's nonsense, we'd be already ahead. But we're still falling into the shame and the blame and the judgment on that one negative side that everybody's projecting as negative without seeing that they're in the same situation as this side is, and we need to come into a common ground to work together to say we're fuck all politics. It's not working on either side, and the power over others needs to stop. The light side, if it is a movie, which I do, we all wrote, and we're all meant to have this experience, but at what cost? To see who has the highest ego out there? To see who to see the silver spot price go up? How does that affect me? Oh, this is the things that are being promised. Okay, promises are never really that kept, at least in my world. I try to own to my promises, and if I can't keep them, I usually make them. I make my shit practical and logical. We've been steered in too many wrong directions on both sides. I hate to say this because it's the truth, though. The light side that's playing the said light is also deceiving. Everything comes into riddles and figuring things out, which is great. And that's how many of us awoken. And I don't want to take that back. Thank you. Because I was awakened in the spiritual sense, the galactic sense, the political sense. I knew it at a very young age. I told my dad when I was very young, there's a shadow government and no one's really, it's just property puppets. And I wasn't a political kid at 4 or 5 when I made that statement. And as I got older, I saw the shit. I knew about it, but I didn't know how deep and all the what we want to call wrongs. They're not necessarily wrongs. They're just things to wake us up to. Um, but in all of that, why haven't those wrongs been written right? And why now? Those are deeper questions. But people play into the emotionality of a collective of people who are very disorganized in their thinking. They're only looking at the one side because they're not coming into a unity of understanding of neutrality, of looking at both sides, then formalizing their own perceptions and taking and walking through those. We're still fighting each other. Like the teacher I work with tomorrow is still very, very in fear. She's like, I voted early because I didn't want to be online with those other people that are toting guns and saying they're going to come and shoot people. Oh, I can't have that. I have my passport just in case. The fear runs deep, and I've tried and just to be a sounding board for her in the neutrality zone. I'm like, you gotta not be in fear, sweetheart. You're gonna be fine. Whatever you're thinking that it could potentially go wrong, it's not what you think. You're looking too deep into one side and you're not getting a fresh, neutral perspective. She believes education is going to be completely erased and that none of us will have jobs. And I said, that is absolutely further from the truth. I said, education as a whole needs to be rewritten. I even said to one of my directors the other day, I'm like, you're writing an IEP and look at the thousands of steps that you are taking to write this fucking letter that should not take that. Why is the state making you write it this way? Why don't you create, because you're an expert in this, why don't you create your own program, your own IEP with the language that would be acceptable and easy to understand for anybody to read, to know what the kid needs and the goals that it needs to achieve for the year? Why are you having to do the jumping and hoops and the loops for a document? Why isn't this stuff easy? Why is these things so fucking complicated? I'm just giving you education as an example because that's the realm of life I'm in. There's too many certificates and standards and things that don't need to be in place. At this point, I should not need a master's to be able to teach in a classroom. I have the experience. I've walked the experience. Yeah, will education or a certificate or a class help me? Absolutely. But things should not be that complicated. When you can't read a legal document to actually understand it, understand it, and walk that legal document, and you need somebody to translate it for you, that's a fucking problem. The legalities that my teacher is going through and some others, I've witnessed it with a couple of people. How is the world functioning? With dangers, there are very many dangerous people walking around on this plane of existence that gets away with murder, close to murder. And it's just acceptable. There's psychopaths out there. And the system is built to protect them and not the victim. Things need to be rewritten on so many levels. And many of us that jumped back into the matrix are the ones that are going to do this work. It, it boggles my mind. It really boggles my mind how kids are learning these days. And it's not, yes, the teachers are indoctrinated to an extent. Not everywhere and not everything is indoctrinated, and everything does hold and serves a purpose. But are we setting up the next generations for success? No. Are educators paid enough? No. And this is why you have a high turnover rate. You have people that are so dedicated, and you shouldn't have to work two jobs to be in a school role, whatever that role is. But at the same time, things need to become accountable on all ends. Homeschooling works when there's a healthy family dynamic. When there is two parents in the home, I don't care if it's two parents, period, two guardians. From the stories and the people that I'm seeing around here, their school is a safe haven for 98% of the children that are in this area. The other 2% have beautiful homes. And I'm not saying that none of the kids do have beautiful homes. Most of them do. But there is a high percentage of children that are neglected at home, that are not having their needs met at home, that a lot of the behaviors, a lot of the special ed end is going to start increasing exponentially because of the way and the manner of our society. You should not iPad kids. You should not pacify your kid with an iPad or a phone. They need to learn how to be patient and to be bored and to use their imagination. This is what makes us human, right? Learning the old school way of doing things, kids cannot write. Normal kids, I'm not even talking about special ed kids. Normal kids cannot write. I know, maybe since first grade, I can remember getting a composition notebook and writing a million times a sight word or a sentence and having to rewrite that over and over again until my penmanship was legible. And by third grade, we were introduced to cursive. And it was just nonstop learning how to do cursive and tracing on tracing paper and the whole 9 yards. Old school ways of doing things worked. Giving your kid a laptop and putting them on to do busy work, it is what it is because we're now moving into the intellectual age of technology. That's fine. But those skills in elementary school at least should be accomplished. A kid should be able to write without having spell check, without having a laptop, without having a program that corrects everything for you. You should know how to do this and edit yourself. Kids don't know how to do that. Phonics is a lost art. More and more kids are having IEPs and more anxiety because look at what society is doing to them. Look at the atmosphere of the adults. Adults can't pay the bills. They need another job. They're not home to focus on their kids. The kids are getting messed up. People have other kids, have other people raising their kids for them. Is that normal? No, no. My mother raised me until I was at the age where she could trust that I can open up my door, lock it, go and make myself some lunch, and then do my homework on my own. And when they got home, they helped me finish it if they had anything, and they checked everything. That's when my mother was started going back to work. She's like, I don't need to be home anymore. You're in school. You're responsible enough to open up the door and to take care of yourself for a few hours until I get home. But from infancy all the way up until I was 10, my mom was home. And she took care of me. She taught me. When my dad was home, he did the same. I didn't see eye to eye with my dad though. We really don't have that now. And a lot of the parents now, like my age group and a little younger than my age group, they don't even know how to fucking teach the kids what is being taught in school because it's so overly complicated. This is another problem. This is where a lot of people need to sit down and say, okay, in every industry known to man, what doesn't need to apply here and what does? And some jobs just don't need a college degree, and your college degree does not really help in many avenues. It's good, it's a good piece of paper to have in certain areas of life. Otherwise, most people, if they're trained properly, can do any job and do something that they love to do. Like I'm very passionate about what I do. Yes, does it suck when kids are biting, scratching, and hitting me and I'm coming home torn apart? Absolutely sucks. But I know I'm making a difference in the kid's life. It's just very stressful when you can't pay your bills. And that's happening. And you have to find something else and you don't know if you physically can are capable of doing another job without burning yourself out. I already burned myself out working 3 jobs before. This is nothing new to me. I wasn't gifted in having one solid job and one solid career and an income. I've always had to go, I'm the starving artist. I never made it big in the art world because I wasn't there to suck a dick or to kiss ass. It's just not my nature. I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm only in competition with myself. I do me and I do me authentically. And I hope the more people have an attitude like that because eventually it's going to work for a lot of us. Of course, I was going to go more on a rant. So that's what I do. But I usually tend to go to oracle cards when I'm being asked to. Um, for my own self, sometimes we have to accept, and I have to accept this for myself, that not all things are meant to be seen or known in the timing that your ego wants. And that divine timing and orchestration does have a role to play in a lot of things. Um, the last 2 weeks, I have given myself an overwhelming task as to not to repeat the old self's behavior. Catching myself. Last night in the TikTok, I caught myself, even though I was still being witty and a little cunty. I did not unleash like I used to. Because I'd be full-fledged out, don't care who I affect, who or what. I just need to air out the dirty laundry. And I didn't do that, so I give myself kudos for holding that back. And then going out and doing the release into the earth. The universe is testing many of us, including myself, with finances and love and relationships. And that's where the full moon ended up in a lot of my placements. That it's going to affect my relationships and my career kind of stuff. And that I have to kind of give faith and take the leap of change is on its way. I just don't know what that change looks like. And sometimes it's harder when you don't know. You have no clue and you're just expending energy in all different directions. But what for myself, the modality that helps is getting some oracle cards to help me navigate maybe the emotional states that I'm in to clear them up so I'm not overwhelmed. So this is Blessings of Al Hakim. This is from the Rumi deck. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Cleverness is opinion. Bewilderment is vision. Rumi. The gift of wisdom, the blessing of Al Hakim, gurgles up from your heart. Her blessing is evoked by life, like the laughter of a babe, joyful responding to the playful tickle of the mother's hand. Wisdom can make divine sense of anything, especially of that where logic is blinded. How can I revere the blessing of Al Hakim, of wisdom? For she is precious and welcome to me now and always, the dear friend who brings me such peace. A blessing of divine wisdom of Al Hakim is being ministered to your soul. watched over by Rumi himself. This is soul medicine. It is a spiritual gift of healing, prophecy, insight, and the capacity to surrender any impatient claim for what you cannot have yet. As you receive this gift, this blessing, which happens at a soul level, your attitude to life becomes more curious, open, still, and receptive. You no longer have to drive the unfoldment of your desires into form. You rest in assurance that your daily application and effort is enough. And so is your surrender. Mental anguish is soothed, and you are able to accept the unfathomable nature of divinity in its expression of itself as life. You become comfortable with reality that the price of being closer to the divine is the giving up of your need to always understand. So true. From this place of increasing stillness, great activity will flow. You shall become capable of being the surrendered vessel to the guiding divine hand. And truly great contributions to the human soul evolving can occur through you. So much will simply emerge, erupt, pulsate, and emanate out of you. And yet, you will feel within as though you are doing nothing at all, even while so much is happening through you. Such holy paradox shall become your daily experience. I can only hope so. This oracle comes with a special guidance for you. If you are uncertain about an issue in your life, be at peace. There is divine healing that can occur most readily in the unknowing. Follow the sacred honoring ritual and know that all is indeed well, beloved soul. Perhaps you are journeying very deep indeed, and your allegiance to your intellectual mind is softening in favor of allegiance to your heart knowing. You may find yourself craving different company with different interests, or finding the world of opinions and debate rather less to your liking. If this doesn't speak me, I don't know what does. And the worlds of creative expression more nurturing and nourishing to your essence. If this is the case, the oracle comes as a confirmation to trust the changes you feel within. In any and all ways, no matter how insignificant or dramatic they may seem. Know that they are seedlings of your new way that shall grow from one step into an entirely new and more sacred orientation in your life. This oracle also comes with a special guidance to bring you peace. Look to the old ways, to the ancient wisdom teachings that run as one vein of life, giving love through all traditions. The old wisdoms teach of cycles, of timing, of letting go to allow for new life to happen, and of the greater intelligence and scheme of life to which we must surrender if we are ever to know even a moment's peace. For when the fire in the belly is fanned by the breath of the heart, you shall have peace and dynamic movement, restful stillness, and soul-inspired action all at once. You shall become one with the living holy paradox, and the healing power of your love shall know no bounds. What? So that is not just for me. That was for a lot of you that needed to hear that, because I'm not alone in what I'm going through right now. There's no way I am alone in this journey of coming to an impasse, going, okay, so I'm emerging consciously. I'm living in another state of existence in my mind. I'm transcending this aspect right here, this 3D physical experience. I still have to play the role here, but my mind is over here, wanting to function on a higher end, but I'm still here. That's the hardest component. And I'm not alone in having this overwhelming shift of fucking confetti shit spewing at you from every angle. And I don't want to get to that point where I was 2 years ago, where I'm looking at myself in the videos wanting to cry at how thin and bony and I looked. I don't want to get to that place. This time I'm able to figure it out in a different capacity. But such is life, that the unknown and the surrender is a real thing. And sometimes that surrender is in the breach of destitute, per se. This is from Sacred Rebels. The perfection of your life. Have you ever seen a storm pictured before from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite a violent experience. So too, there's a great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in the natural process, you may be experiencing it as anxiety-inducing rather than beautiful. You may sense it as internal chaos. You may feel it as something that is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate, but sense vaguely nonetheless. Well, that was me exploding. Perhaps the chaos is fully fledged and a person or situation in your life is causing all kinds of havoc. Yeah. Upheaval or change and uncertainty in your world. Whether the chaos seems subtle, strong, internal, or external, this oracle brings the same message for you. All is unfolding according to a perfect higher order. You are currently enduring a cosmic spiritual storm, which is having an impact on you. It is clearing things out, ruffling feathers, and preparing you for what that lovely, super fresh, uplifting feeling that one experiences after the storm has finally passed. If you have drawn the oracle of after the storm, which I didn't, but just one, this message is amplified for you. Even if you have not chosen that card, but feel intuitively drawn to read the message for it after the healing process below, you are encouraged to do so. If you cannot believe there is anything happening, even at a subtle level, because you feel stuck, denied, bored, thwarted, or stale, this oracle brings you a message also. No matter what appears to be, in truth, there is only the unfolding creative genius of the universe. You are not forgotten. You have not been looked over. You have not been denied, found wanting, or rejected as unworthy. The storm that needs to erupt is in your heart. Do your liberating rain dance, rage, weep, pray, dance, paint, or sing. Express whatever is needed, however it is needed. To exercise the block energy in your heart, then you will call on the powerful perfection of your life path as it aligns for the next creative turn of the spiral of life. Once again, you will trust and directly experience the flower of life unfolding within you and around you. And the healing process here is, imagine you are standing at the silent center of a great cleansing storm. All aspects of your life are rained upon, blown about, and even messed up a little. How do you feel? The storm then passes, and you are left with some soft sunshine and slightly soggy feet. Some parts of your life will have been washed away. Some others will be strong and stable, a bit messy perhaps, but still there nonetheless. How do you feel? Underneath your feet, you see a pattern forming in the cleansed earth, as if it is rising up from the damp, slightly disturbed soil. A golden gleaming geometric pattern of the flower of life grows. Sensing the perfection of the form, see how each flower feeds into the next in symmetry, harmony, and balance. And then visualize cleansing. I did that earlier today. I came home exhausted, having to talk, well, text, um, that person I had conflict with. And we came to a resolution, and I feel a lot better because that was weighing a lot on me. And even if things are a little different and they're not going to come back to a totality sense, everybody's expressed words were expressed in perfect divine order, and the needing to cleanse was established on all ends. It's just the hurt that was projected that needs to come into play. It's my sage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crux in the energy point where we are all in our own spiritual storm, whether you are aware of it or not. The fine tuning of our energy fields, the unleashing of what is to come, where we don't know what is to come because we are writing it as we go along. And that is humanity writing it. And right now, it's a shit show. I have my heater on a little bit. I'm saging you and I'm saging myself. I love sage. The veil, looking at the date, the veil is thinning. It's been thin, but it's now thinning for most people. The other aspects of what's happening also is the fact that the negative polarized entities, the thought forms that people are projecting are being purged. And a lot of us are, unbeknownst to us, having to transmute that energy as well. I know when I'm being spiritually attacked. And it's not something I ignore or just debunk to say, well, no, I'm in neutrality and that stuff doesn't happen. No, it does. I'm not in denial of that. It's a test for me to see if I have passed, if I'm giving it my energy or I am transmuting it. For the most part, making the best attempts to transmute and alchemize. The challenge is doing it when it happens. Set boundaries. This probably protects you from absorbing too much into unnecessary energies and preserve your true state of mind. Repeat affirmations. Keep a journal and write down your affirmations of manifestation. Set every new day by saying these out loud to charge yourself with more positive energies. And yes, like I said many moons ago, I have affirmations on all my mirrors, and I'm starting to see them pop up in my school building to encourage the kids to start thinking positively on themselves. It's beautiful. Affirmations are just resetting your unconscious and helping your ego go bye-bye. Keep it to yourself. You have brilliant and outstanding ideas with an unconventional style. So before you round up and perform it, keep it a secret to prevent yourself from judgment or competitive energy. That's if you feed into that intention. If you're standing in your, in not pride, but your confidence, and you're stepping into what you authentically know for yourself, you shouldn't have to hide anything. Yeah, should you not express it to every Tom, Dick, and Harry? Sure, because you don't want your ideas to be stolen or given in such a way that it's going to be inverted somehow. Break the rules. It's okay to break rules this time. Only you know how to work things out effectively, as long as it doesn't hurt. Allow yourself to go beyond your limits. And of course, life is short. You might miss the fun if you don't, which is true. You should be living your life. And I think for a lot of us, that's where a lot of the stagnancy is, that we're still bound by a 3D financial system that a lot of us don't have finances. A lot of us are humbled for the experiences we have, and we could give ourselves experiences just by going outside and enjoying the full foliage, by going for a walk. It doesn't need to be crazy, but you should be experiencing life and the beauty of it. I know when I was looking for the dog, I was in cornfields and I was having fun grounding my energy. It was quite beautiful. And as my sage is still burning, I have the negative energy around me. Sucks. But I have to clear it. Attraction. The energy of attraction amplifies the qualities that attract and support us on our journey toward inner balance and harmony. Strength. The frequency of strength supports our ability to harmonize all our qualities and skills toward a strong and balanced way of being. We have to be strong right now. I know I fell into a lot of weakness in the last 2 weeks because I'm just exhausted. My energy is being pulled in too many directions. And people rely on me a lot, which is, it feels great to have that, but I have to have my boundaries to say no. Sorry. Not trying to be an asshole. But energy expended in certain ways is fine. But for me, I have to take care of myself because I am all I have. I don't have a husband. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have family. I have family, but they don't understand my journey. And I have to take care of myself. Yep. I'll go into these cards in a minute. Hang on. Not for you. So, as much as I need income and I'm putting myself out there, I know the rejections that I have received, it's because it's not for me. And I understand that. But if I don't put myself out there and start trying, I never know what is going to come and what will behold me. So some things are just really not for you because that's not the path you're meant to be on. And it's not coming through because it's not your path. Right. But you don't know until you put yourself in situations. At least try, put your energy out there because you're trying to attract something to come to you. I'm trying to attract more abundance and a job so that I can fulfill my needs. Tick tock, time's ticking. But for a heavier sense, time is an illusion, and we're here in a linearity that it's gonna die soon. I'm not bound by the clock anymore. As much as I have to clock in and clock out at work, it's just an illusion. I see past those things. But we're still having to have that construct here. So I got to work with it. And some things, the time limit is on its last limbs. Time for a nap. A lot of us need more rest. I know I do. Um, Very hard and seldom for me to get a nap in. My weekends have been shifted because I do a lot for other people, but I have to take care of myself. As we can hear me coughing still, I still have infection in my lungs. I'm coughing it up. I'm trying to expel it. Um, it's also allergies. The mold from the leaves, the shit, it's still kicking up, and it's just not, it's contributing still to the lingering shit. But it's time for us to actually take a rest. And a spiritual one is that. I've been told many times that I have to slow down sometimes because I can have spiritual burnout. I don't think I'm in spiritual burnout as much as I'm in physical burnout. I haven't been in this much pain physically in a long time. And it's just because of the physicality of my job that my body is not used to. And even though I was working out and walking and just trying to get my stamina back to where it was when I was working in New York, eh, I'm getting older and I have to come into a compliance that my physical vehicle needs rest. And with the energy right now, we have to be flexible. Um, I have to give compassion and grace, which I have, to the circumstances and situations that land on my lap. Easier said than done, right? But with breaking what has been going on in my life down, I see a clearer picture, still having those emotional wanting to people and call people out by name, which I'm not going to do. But the immaturity, the disrespect, the disregard, the selfishness that some people have yet to own, I am not feeding your energy. And because it is affecting other relationships with people, thankfully that person sees beyond that bullshit and gets it now. But we all have a falter point where we buy into the shit that people give because we're insecure or we're traumatized and we haven't healed the trauma yet. So I have to give compassion and grace where it needs to be. And usually I do. It's just a lot harder at these junctures and times because of ignorance. Lots of ignorance. And quite frankly, it's sad. Sorry, guys. I did not clean out my cards since this Friday. And I do plan on going live tomorrow if all is well. Um, Fridays are usually I'm with the older kids and they're a way easier day to deal with. My Fridays are great. I like the older kids. They love me, we have fun. Yeah. So Fridays are usually my easier days at work and I come home with a joy and I'm illumined. So I'm hoping putting this out there that all is well on Friday. Well, tomorrow that I can go live. And I'll be a Friday Night Live of just me pulling cards and shooting the breeze, kind of like this. But today just needed to get what I couldn't get out yesterday because I was really in a rare form out. Rare form. And then I'll catch up on doing Blavatsky and doing my YouTube clips during the weekend. The clips take me a bit to put all that together, but we'll do that. I pull this card not as often, but quite often. And maybe tomorrow I'll pull from decks I haven't pulled from in a long time. Like some of them are my main staples, and others I just interchange because I like the messaging. Aeon so a way through the struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto the path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim, notable success, and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted by such experiences. Focus on what connects you to your heart and grounds you in the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is the patience of love, kindness, and peace. This will allow for successful progress in the material world without disturbing the sanctity of your soul. Receptivity is the key to unlocking this white light magic of the spirit. When we are open to it, surrender to its wisdom, and willing to place the wisdom above our own opinions, we are capable of receiving and benefiting from it. If we are trying to dictate its course, to contrive and control it to meet our needs as we think they should be met, then we are not being receptive. The path of control and dominance is regressive. It's not sacred magic, and it's not of the spirit. Aeon Soph illuminates the ways of our sacred soul magic that create healing and deep fulfillment. It recognizes that there is a problem, yet does not dwell on or it not evoke toxic mind games or blame and shame. It focuses on solutions. Underneath fancy words, outlandish claims, and complex doctrines, the light of spirit is recognized by its effects. Genuine spiritual connection helps us outgrow our problems. Ego will tell you a situation is too complicated or someone else is to blame. Or if you could just change this one thing, healing could happen. But when you are in ego, you are not spiritually effective. You will be locked into suffering and confusion. As a human being, you are able to use your free will as you choose. You can focus on negative and distance yourself from the light. Refuse to trust and insist you always know best. You can choose to feel unappreciated, betrayed, or afraid when life does its unpredictable dance. Spirit will love you and seek to help you even when you use your free will in such a way. And anytime you can choose to say, enough of the misery, and open your heart to connect with the higher creative healing intelligence of the light. No matter how much our wounded minds or broken hearts may believe a situation cannot be healed, and so is always there. It reminds us that whether we can see it or not, there is a spiritual path through all troubles. That path can be a beautiful we will become profoundly grateful for the struggle which caused us to grow. Sorry, that didn't make sense. As you open yourself to what is, even the unexpected, difficult twists of fate, you will become ever closer to the radiant grace and luminous clarity which is reassuring you, healing you, and guiding you and loving you. Interesting. So, of course, a lot of these cards are probably very personal for myself, but I know I'm not alone in this right in the moment, feeling this way, having these very difficult things come at you and not knowing how to maneuver around them, how to think about them, how to transmute them, how to go about dealing with human beings that are not so kind, that are disrespectful, and feeding fear. I guess the last 2 weeks has shown me just to keep moving forward, but also putting my boundaries up and just putting people on check out loud. Here we are. Hi. You want to troll me? That's fine. You want to create issues? That's fine. But just know that it's going to come back to you, and you don't want to deal with my spiritual team because half of them is yours too. There's a reason why things happen. It just gives you a bigger lesson and a bigger challenge to overcome and a bigger experience and wisdom to walk through. That's my life, and it just but it sucks when you're in the middle of it, when you're physically going through it, and that you hope that you get supported somehow, if not being the shoulder. This is where the Amish mindset without the abundance aspect comes in. It's just being there for people. I'm usually a rock for others, but sometimes I also need something to lean on, being that mountain, right? We all need that at some aspects in our life. We can all be the biggest badasses ever, but there are times when we get weak, when we are getting picked apart, and that we need a support. We need help. And sometimes we don't even know how or where to ask for it. So just be strong, persevere. I'm trying to do that myself. And I don't like to say I'm trying, but I'm putting my best steps forward to doing those acts and figuring it all out. But I'm very disappointed in some people. I'm hoping that things are mended. I'm praying that I find another job. I'm praying that eventually this channel can help me. I'm praying that eventually this takes off somehow, somewhere, that I can self-sustain on one income and not have to actually kill myself going out and physically draining myself each and every day just to make an ends meet, because I don't want to be back in the slave movement. I'm not trying to feed that paradigm. As much as I bring a lot of light, a lot of wisdom to wherever I go, I don't need to do it and be exhausted doing it. Being a light worker is not easy. And having to transmute energy constantly and block yourself in your energy field, it's tiring. That's why it's saying you need a nap, girl. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go and take a shower and just chill for a little bit. So I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for my live. If I don't, I will post it somewhere that I'm not. I still haven't figured out because I haven't had the time to figure out the coding, and so it's just gonna pop up in your feed that I'm alive. Hit that notification bell if you haven't done so. Um, Little Thor has scarcely, he came this morning. I haven't seen him in the morning in quite a while. Um, I'm trying to get some videos in the afternoon of him. Sometimes when I upload, it uploads the same video as a few days ago, which I don't understand how that does, but it does. Uh, I'm being suppressed in a lot of different ways on a lot of different platforms because I guess my truth is hitting some nerves. But I'm hoping that all transpires in divine orchestration for myself. Um, this is not the easy part of life. And I don't think I'll ever have an easy part of life. But as the veil keeps thinning, guys, just put as much protection barriers around you as you possibly can, especially for you empaths that are absorbing the world's bullshit at the moment in time. Don't partake in feeding any side because we don't know what is to come and what is trying to be manifested that is not of our highest and best. Yes, collectively, if we chose it, it's going to do it anyway. But we have the power to make those changes. So let's get on it, guys, because I love you and we got this. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the physical shoulder for somebody. Be the lighthouse. Seed your truths respectfully and with mature wording. Make sure you're going inside and doing the work on you. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. If not, I will be doing a Blavatsky video and some TikTok clips and some other fun stuff incoming. So stay tuned, guys. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you for your support and have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye for now.